everybody, welcome to another Common Grounds Meet the Members. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jo Stevens and I'm the coordinator of Common Grounds Women in Business Network. Thank you so much for taking the time to check in and learn more about our amazing Common Ground members. Now, Common Grounds provides coffee meetups for women in business to network and connect with like-minded women in business. Now, we have an amazing, diverse group of women. And one of the reasons why I started this vlog chat was to help these incredible women spread the word on not only what they do, but why they do what they do. And today I'm joined by the amazing Donna. Welcome, Donna. Would you like to formally introduce yourself and the name of your business?
Hi, Jo. Thank you so much for having me on. My name is Donna Arnold, and I host Solo Women Adventures. Small groups, small adventures, small, not big 2045. It's so exciting. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, Donna, tell us a bit more about that. What does that mean when you say like smaller groups?
So it's more, we're just a bunch of ladies going and exploring places in Europe in particular at the moment, to delve deeper instead of thinking that solo travel is the only option, because a lot of women don't like to actually travel by themselves. I can, but I've realised a lot would prefer, yes, they're alone, but they like to know that there's some sort of support group. So basically there's less than 10 of us that will go on an adventure, as I like to call them. And I like to compare them with a very standard bus coach tour. They're red. I don't know if I should mention their name, but they're red in colour. And it's on par with them, 3.5, 4 stars. So we do the transport, accommodation and some meals. But the big difference is we only travel every 5 days. And we don't do coaches. We travel by train. And the other big thing is everybody has a single room, their own room. They can snore as much as they want. And there is no single supplement. So you have me you've got to put up with. I go along, and it's a case of, it's called Freedom Itineraries for a reason. So when we get to these towns and cities, we actually have got 5 days there, completely unpack if you really want to delve, relax, do whatever it is you want to do. So we'll go this way and that way, and then we'll catch up in the afternoon or the evening for dinner. What did you do? Blah, 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 blah. And some people say, well, I might do that tomorrow. And again, we just sort of go off and do our own thing and come back and just talk about our day. So it is freedom, your holiday. It's just that I create this structure because I know how easy it is, because that's what I love to do.
So Donna, tell us your background though. So are you a
Oh,
travel agent? Is this how you know, like you know the places to go? So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
yeah, absolutely. I am a travel agent. I've got over 13 years, coming up to 14 years experience. And I was a Harvey Well girl, so all those retirees, Gen Xers and baby boomers will understand Harvey Well. I was a Harvey Well girl, and did a lot of the work then, and then had a bit of a break and came back into it, because since I was 10 years old, travel is all I wanted to do. I wanted to be an air hostess, but I'm 2 inches too short. So that was the end of that. So it was a case of getting back into it and then doing these solo discoveries myself. I realized how easy this is. So I create itineraries all the time. I remember, I can create round the world for families of 4. It just comes naturally, and I can then sync with all the airlines and the time zones and the ferries and all the connections. Not a problem at all. It's just something that I love to do. So that's where that's come from.
So you were saying then, like, so you organise the flights, you organise the accommodation for the ladies, and as you're saying, the smaller groups that it is part of, and so it's like a bit of an itinerary, like you have the locations, but then the ladies get that opportunity to, like as you were saying, stay there for a few nights, so they get to actually then go off and explore on their own or do things together if they like. And do you provide opportunities like some destinations even while they're there, like some like tourist destinations as well, like spots that they can go to?
Well, yeah. So first of all, it's like most coach tours, they provide transport, accommodation, and some meals. So that's what's part of my Freedom Itineraries hosting. But as a travel agent, it's a case of I can do travel insurance and we're going to Europe and a lot of people want to do more than, I offer a 13-day trip. So it's a case of add on to it. You can do cruises, you can go elsewhere, do lots of things. So I can do the whole thing and including the travel insurance as well. I work closely with a Brisbane-based travel insurance company. And what I do in my itineraries, I give you suggestions of what you can do because chances are, well, there's more things to do than you'll have time to do. So you can choose what you want to do. For example, I noticed a lot of the itineraries that we see in our brochures is, and it includes this entry and that entry. And frankly, if it's to do with a museum, I think, what a waste of money because I don't like doing museums. So why incorporate that? Sounds great, but if you don't like to do it, you don't want to do it, it's a waste of money. So it's a case of you guys, I give you suggestions of what's around that area, and then the ladies decide what it is they want to do. So we will go down and check out the town, find our bearings around the town because there's so many different cafes. We're not locked into a chain restaurant like other tour operators are. We're free. We can do whatever we want. Even if we want time out, we just go into our own room. We've got time out and choose not to eat with us that night, So, yeah, we'll go in and check out and find out because all the rooms, remember, they always have these little brochures and things like that of what you can do. And there's so much that's not online or not in the brochures. We're 10,000 miles away. So it's a case of sitting down and having a look and, having a chat, and some people will go as two or three will go this way and that way. That's what it's about. They choose. But I give them a guide for what's there because I'll only choose places where there's things to do. Absolutely. So, I'm not going to choose places, pretty boring. I'd be upset if it was.
So where are the destinations that at the moment you're kind of planning?
Right. So I've got one going in September and it's northern Italy, very northern Italy, and Switzerland. So basically what we'll do is we'll meet in Rome across the road from the Termini. So it's a nice little cafe, easy to find us instead of a loss in a big city terminal. Catch the train. And the first one is Rovereto, which is it's towards the Dolomites. So we know the Dolomites now because of the Olympic Games. Bolzano is the city that was actually the main hub, but we're a little bit further south. So we've got access to Verona, a day trip, Lake Garda. Got to sit at Lake Garda and have a lunch on the lake. There's cafes and towns all the way around it. And, of course, there's castles, lots of castles in Trento Adige area as well. And this just gives you a guide of the different things. So you can sort of base yourself there and you go north, south, east and west. Do whatever it is you want to do. And, of course, there's local buses and the trains are there. And the next town we go to is Torino, which is at the base, right near the Swiss border, is where the Bernina Express departs from. So that little red train that goes up through the Alps, there's a day trip if you want to do that. Or there's vineyards, and all of them, they're vineyards. You can go to the wineries. I personally like to hike around those vineyards. So you got those, but there's also in this particular town, I have gone against my grain, but this one is, there's an option, a Roman mineral spa
beautiful
business. So, you can go and jump in and pretend you're a Roman from 1,200 years ago or whatever it was. And in this spa, you can mineral spa under the stars, or you can have a mud bath, or you can do this or that. And what I'm offering in this particular one is I will pay for the entry, and then you whoever travels, they pay for whatever it is they want to do. So, I'm just so excited about doing that as well. So, again, there's more things to do than there is days there. So, and that's what it's about. You've got lots of choices. And then we go into Switzerland and we'll base ourselves around Lucerne, which we can go up to Grindelwald and down to, again, their gorgeous crystal blue lakes, and discover Switzerland because Lucerne's got that bridge with the buildings across the lake, So key places, but it's not necessarily in the big cities. It's outside of the cities and the other smaller cities that still have all the offerings. They've got 21st century. They're all set up for tourists. So that's the sort of thing. And we can relax and we can do what we want.
I love that. So that's an opportunity for women to do this incredible tour, but also not be rushed and not, be able to take their time, go and see the things that they want to see. As you said, sometimes in different tours and things like that, there are things that you don't want to see, but it gives that flexibility. And as you were saying, that security for women who are like, on their own and wanting to travel. Can I talk a bit about that? Who is your target market? Who it is that you're finding that are attracting to come to your tours?
Yeah, I find the baby boomer. I'm a baby boomer, so that I understand. But also Gen Xers. There's a lot of women that business women, professionals, so from about 45 plus, and they just need time out, and they're not necessarily, there's so many of us these days, there's 2 out of 3, isn't it, that are gone through the old married divorce cycle.
Yes.
So there's lots of solo women out there, and this is where they can go as a group, yet they can still be alone. They can choose to do a trip on their own. They can choose to, like I said earlier, go and have dinner, have a bit of a snack and watch TV, because usually single women, by the time the 5th day comes around, they just go, oh, I just got to have some time on my own. So, this is what it's about. You've got the company and the support when you need it. For example, I'm not a guide. It's not a commercialized tour. So I'm there. So if you have a bit of a trip up and your ankle's sore, I'll be there to lean on to help you get through to the next one, especially if you've got, oh my God, we've got to move, we're traveling the next day. So you've got a bit of a support system instead of being completely, totally on your own. That's what it's really about. You're a solo traveler, but you've got that support system, because I found traveling France, as much as I loved it, and I will go back, it was very intimidating, and it takes a lot for me to be intimidated. So, other personalities would find it difficult being on their own.
Absolutely, because so it gives them that security to travel, with other women, being able to
Yeah.
really enjoy themselves, to really, immerse themselves into like, the beautiful scenery without having to rush and, sort of thing, and do what you like. I mean, that is the whole point about, when we go on holidays, we want to be able to do what we want to do instead of like what everybody else is doing. So I love that you offer that. And yeah, so Europe is your first one that you're going into, and is there more that you're planning down the track?
Yeah. Before we move off Europe, is a case of what I'd like to say is, we're so used to, especially the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, we're so used to this is how it is in the brochure. So that's what you have. You have that or that, take it or leave it. But I would like women to come to me and say, Donna, I heard about this little place in Croatia. Can we do something around there? And I'll go, sure. Or let's go island hopping, pick this, not just the same old Mykonos, the same old Santorini. There's a smorgasbord of islands out there. So, we can create something for that as well. Now, getting out of Europe is a case of UK. I've done solo travel in UK, so that's another option. I would like to go over and do Central America and things like that, further afield. But right now, politically, I'm going to wait.
Yes,
That's just
absolutely.
me. I don't. Yeah,
Great.
and I don't do South Africa. If there's people who want to travel in South Africa, I have this wonderful travel associate person that she's a South African, so she just knows exactly what to do. And I don't do India. I'm a bit over doing Asia as well. I have, unfortunately, from good old menopause, is I cannot cope with the heat. And yes,
Well,
I've
I
done
mean, I'm
Asia.
guessing that you're thinking about the age group that you have. I'm guessing that is probably more the light, but there is so much to
Yeah,
see in Europe. There is so many beautiful
there is.
destinations, and I'm sure
Yes.
that the women that are out there are going to be like going, "This is exactly what I'm looking for," wanting to go away. As you were saying, there is a lot of like we have women who've like lost their life partner, or they're divorced and they're
Mhm.
wanting to travel, but they don't really want to travel alone. So Donna
Yeah.
is your answer there, people. She can help you, go down that road where you can go and do the things that you want to do on your own, but you're not traveling on your own, which is absolutely what I love
Yeah.
that you're offering that. Now, Donna,
Yeah.
I'd love to like kind of chat about what is kind of one piece of advice you would like to give to anybody that's listening, maybe travel wise. Let's start with travel wise first. What kind of, advice would you offer to anybody out there with travel wise?
I I'm on a couple of massive big travel groups, and I'm horrified at how so many people think they can book a holiday overseas, and then they come on and they ask these questions. And of course, my response is you need to talk to a travel agent,
Yes.
because it's not as simple as getting on a flight from Brisbane to Melbourne. So seriously, the money, yes, you've got to focus on your budget, but don't sacrifice your budget and go to one of these cheap places. I only heard the other day somebody booked everything through, and I'm going to say it, booking.com. Now, I've used booking.com for accommodation. I would never book my flights through them. And what's happened is the airline, because of what's happened politically in this world, in the Middle East, the airline has refunded the money to booking.com, which is how it's supposed to go. But the client, the passenger, is just hanging off. What'll I do? Nobody wants to answer the phone. Nobody wants to answer my emails. They're stuck. So for this reason, number one, think about when you see something online, just because they charge a $10 booking fee, don't walk away. To me, it's a case of go with something that's reputable over something that's super, super cheap, because at the end of the day, you're only getting what you pay for.
Absolutely.
And
No, I
yeah,
was
another
going
one
to agree with
is
that because we went to South Africa. I think it's the same lady you're talking about. I went to South Africa and my flight on the way home was actually cancelled and then delayed. And the amazing Gail was able to actually change that flight for us. Was in contact with with the flight company. And so all of that, because we had at that time no phone reception because we were only using the Wi-Fi. We were like at the end of our holiday, so we didn't have any money left on our card. So we had no idea what was going on. And it was amazing having, that flight, having that person, actually do all that for us. Otherwise, we would have been completely stuck and having no idea what was going on. So I totally agree with you there. But I'd love to
mm,
also now hear about like one other piece of advice you would like to give to any women in business about business. I mean,
oh,
let's talk about like that. I would just like to, I'm not going to like go into like the age kind of thing, but with sometimes when we get older, we think that that's it, life is over. So do you have that piece of advice of like, for anybody that's maybe a bit older and like going, no, just don't give up, have a go at it? What would you say there?
exactly. Don't give up, because it's a case of if I live to 98, which is still 30 odd years away, I hope I'm fit and healthy enough to sort of to get around. So working on that principle, I'm thinking, well, I'm starting my business now and I'm in my 60s, I'll say that. And I thought, well, I could say, well, it's all too late, but I've got 30 years left of having fun and, following my dreams. So don't, yeah, while there seems like generally the public and the general consensus is you're old, so retire, you just got to sit around and wait. No, just keep going, because I keep hearing about stories of other women around the same age. Look at they've made, look at what they've done. So it's a case of get the education if you need, because this technology drives me crazy, but keep going. Don't give up purely because someone says to you, don't you think you should retire? Or the universe thinks that you should. Don't. If you're physically active and mentally, keep going. That's all I say. Just keep going, and I always go back to looking at somebody else's story and look what they did in that short period of time. If it takes me 5 years, it takes me 5 years.
Absolutely.
But yeah, yeah. If that's your passion, that's your dream, that's what you want to do it. Don't
Absolutely.
listen
Oh
to
my gosh.
others.
I love that, Donna. And I thought I would just share that because, there is so many women like out there, I'm in my mid 50s, and it's like I'm still loving business. And I think that, it doesn't matter what your age is, as long as you're passionate and able to do what you want to do, go out there and do it. Don't give up and don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't do what you do. And like, of course, ladies, if you want to travel and you like that a little bit older and you're wanting someone to go with and you you don't want to travel on your own, Donna is the person to reach out to and make that happen. So, absolutely 100%. Thank you, Donna. Do you have any last words that you'd like to share?
I do actually. Just one more thing. It's about the networking. So we grow up through this funnel, and the universe, this is the way it used to be, and all of a sudden I change lanes, and without putting my family and friends down, it's a case of it's a different world for me now. So going to networking, you're with your people, ones who understand what you're doing, and they're your support system as well as creating that network. They understand what you're doing, and they don't laugh at you or put you down. So network. That's
Absolutely.
another main
Well, I mean,
reason.
I am the networking queen. So obviously, I totally think that that's what you need to do. But I agree with you. And that's the point of Common Grounds, is because being with those like-minded women in business, unfortunately, sometimes our family just do not understand what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. And so that's why I love Common Grounds and creating these spaces for women to, connect. And that's how I met you, the amazing Donna, coming along, though we didn't know each
Yes.
other before that many, many moons ago through other sources as well. That's what I love. I have created so many amazing friendships and connections through networking. So yes, 100%. Please come along and check out Common Grounds. I'd love to see you at a coffee meetup very soon. Thank you, Donna,
Yeah,
so
we'll
much
see
for
you
your
then.
time. I think that, we covered quite a lot
Thank
there.
you.
And honestly, as I said, if anyone's looking to travel and don't want to travel on their own, please reach out to Donna and she can help you with that. So thanks for taking another time to check in and learn more about our Common Ground members. Thanks so much, Donna.
Thanks, Joe. Catch you
See you,
later.
everybody. Have a great day.